really don't remember how this like rumor got started or whatever. It wasn't a rumor though. There was something that happened, but somehow it's like started to go around the school that there was going to be like someone was going to like come and shoot at the school on like a certain day, and me and all my friends, we all would come to school like an hour early, and we would sit at like the same table in the cafeteria every single day, and we would just wait for classes to start and just hang out. And the cafeteria at my school was like right in the center of the school, and it was like a big open room. So we were kind of having this thought, like if the school is going to get shot, like this is where the shooter's going to start. Like we're at like a real danger zone right here, unless they have specific targets, obviously. But like, you know,
yeah,
we were just trying to be smart about this. And so on the day of the shooting, like all my friends and I like had a plan of how we were going to escape. Like I told all, like I was the only one of my friends who could drive and had a car at the time. So like I relayed to all of them like where in the parking lot I had parked that morning, and we all had a plan to like meet up there and get the hell out of there if anything happens. And then like we didn't sit in that same spot that day. We went like downstairs on the first floor. They had like these little wing spots where there was these tables that you could like sit and study. And so like we all went and sat at one of those instead that day. And our principal was actually making the rounds, and so she like came by and saw us and like came and asked like why we were sitting over there, because she knew we normally sat in the cafeteria in the morning, and we were like straight up like you know we're worried we're gonna get shot. And she you know she didn't like directly say like there's nothing to be worried about. Like it was clear that she knew about it and like knew there was a possibility, so she was understanding about it. But she kind of tried to be like, oh, it's going to be all right. Everything's going to be fine. But no, we stayed there, and nothing ended up happening. And I don't super know like the legitimacy of like this part, but like, cause I've heard from a couple different people, a couple different things. Like something was found in a student's trunk on that day. It was either like a shotgun or shotgun shells or like a collection of knives. Something was in the trunks of someone's car. So it wasn't like a baseless rumor, but nothing actually ended up happening.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Damn, that's scary though.
It was scary. It was like, well, and we weren't like the popular kids either. We were like, everyone's gonna like. There's probably a lot of people who don't like us. Like, we're at least like possibly targets, you know. So we were a bit freaked out.
Yeah, that's crazy. I think
I'm surprised. Now I think about it, I'm surprised none of us like didn't go to school that day, but I think all of us were afraid to like tell our parents, like we didn't want to scare them.
Yeah. I mean, you guys definitely could have had the day off of school. That's for sure. I don't think if I had told my parents that there was a rumor that there was going to be a shooting, that they would have let me go to school that day.
Yeah, like in retrospect, that was kind of like a free day off. I don't know why I didn't take advantage of that.
Yeah. So I mean that's not the most fun topic to start us off with, but just the fact that like, you know, my dad was like checking out at the grocery store as kids are fleeing this school just was too crazy for me not to bring up.
Yeah, that's wild.
It's wild. Oh man,
we haven't ever told that story.
Yeah, it's wild
about him.
Yeah, good old Steven.
We worked with this guy, Steven. He was a really nice guy. Good hard worker. Really liked that guy. But he had a like strange habit of like anytime you'd tell him a story, he'd like respond with like, "That's wild."
It's wild.
So it just became a bit of a meme with us. That's it. It's not a very interesting story, but
well, okay. There's a little more interesting stuff to him. Well, one, he used to like, he lived in the apartment complex right next door to the store we worked at. So he would like skateboard over to work.
He would do that on like a really scuffed skateboard.
Yeah, and I remember he came in one day. I think it was like maybe like the week he started. He like came in with some of his friends because they were like skateboarding in our parking lot, and he's like, "Oh, dude, I just ate shit out there." And I was like, "Okay, like, are you all right?" And he's like, "Oh, yeah." I don't know. He's just a goofy dude.
Yeah, I feel bad that I like didn't talk to that guy more after he stopped working there because he was a good guy. I was kind of friends with him. We're friends on Steam, where I play all my video games.
Yeah.
And like at some point he changed his profile picture to just be like I'm trying to find it right now, but I'm not seeing him. I've got a lot of other friends on Steam. So he like changed his profile picture to like a goth chick and like changed his his like name on Steam to like I guess I won't say it, but it was like a woman's name, and like I keep looking at every time he pops up, like I'll look at the profile picture, and I'm kind of looking at it, and I can't get like a close enough look at it because it's just like a little icon, but it's entirely possible that it's like him cross-dressing, and like if that's the case, like good for him, but I wouldn't have ever expected it out of him.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. The other thing about him that was interesting, I mean, this is nothing that he could control, but what didn't he have like Crohn's disease?
He did have Crohn's, yeah.
Yeah, and so like I just remember like it always sucked when he was our cashier, if he was like the only cashier, because he would be in the bathroom like half of his shift.
Yeah.
Oh, I feel bad for him. That sucks.
Yeah, well, I mean, shit, he had Crohn's and his girlfriend was like fighting cancer. Like there was just a lot of like bad health in that house.
Oh, I forgot. I forgot about the girlfriend having cancer.
Yeah.
Damn. That's right.
They were like, I mean, if I remember correctly, both of them were like younger than me, but they were like both like surprisingly like mature and like put together. Like they were living on their own, like supporting themselves, like fighting this whole like medical situation. And it's like, it's very impressive. Both very strong people.
Yeah. Yeah.
So good for, I hope they're doing well. I haven't talked to him in forever, so I don't know like how he's holding up.
Yeah. I remember after he left World Market, he got a job working at Chipotle.
Yes, he did.
And he came in and when he was like talking to Tom and I about it. And, he started out as like a cashier or whatever. But I just remember it being so goofy, him telling us that they promoted him to like chip frying duty. I thought that was super goofy.
Yeah, Tom was always begging him to bring in some leftover chips and he wouldn't ever do it.
Yeah, I know. What a jerk.
A piece of shit. I hope I hope he's doing terrible.
I hope he's taking a shit right now.
I hope for his sake he enjoys taking a diarrhea as much as I do.
Yeah, I mean, if he did, that would be like the best disease to have, right?
I mean, I think it comes with a host of other problems, but sure.
No, I know it. It absolutely does. And I'm sure it really freaking sucks. But like if you had it, that would be like just like a bonus side effect.
Yeah.
This kind of brings me to something I've been wanting to bring up. I've just had it in my notes for. I don't know, probably 6 months. Like,
oh, you know what, Mike? I want to interrupt you because I wanted to mention this early in the podcast.
Yeah, go for it.
We got the next 24-hour live stream planned.
Oh, nice. When's that happening?
24-hour live stream time. And you know what? This has been like, I mean, it's close. It's not quite what I wanted to do, but it's close to what I want to do. It's going to be a New Year's 24-hour live stream starting on the 1st.
Oh, nice. New Year's Day. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So, y'all come swing on by to twitch.tv/CaptainMack_ on January 1st, 10 a.m. Eastern time, which will be 7 a.m. my time, Pacific time. We'll be starting and live streaming for 24 hours straight.
Yeah, I will say those of you who aren't gamers and don't regularly watch Mack, I'm not a gamer, although I do try to pop into your streams when I can. But the 24-hour streams are always a lot of fun.
They are. They're like the highlight of the years.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, there's two of them, but it's like they're like the highlight streams of the entire year.
Yeah, they're always a really good time. Because you guys get like super goofy, and I usually spend like a good couple hours throughout the day, like checking back in and out. But they're a lot of fun.
Well, there's a certain magic to them, because especially like I always rope my friends into it, because obviously doing a 24-hour live stream would be like impossible. So I usually have 3 to 4 friends with me. This time it's looking like it's going to be myself, Sean, Jake and Riley, not Riley, sorry, Jake and Kyler, all together. And you know, I try to make my live streams as interesting, as funny as and as funny as I can by myself. But you know, comedy is best, I think, when it comes to like groups or duos, because you have room to like bounce stuff off of each other. And so the 24-hour live streams end up being a lot of fun, because there's 4 of us to just bounce stuff off of each other. And, you know, we're not always focused on the game. A lot of the time it's just us having stupid conversations about nothing. It's not unlike the podcast in that sense, you know?
Right. Are you gonna do any sort of audience interactive things this time?
Most likely. I mean, we'll probably, you know, do Jackbox at some point. We totally forgot to on the last one, but you know, usually we try to do Jackbox at some point, especially since, you know, those streams usually get higher view counts, so there's more room for like audience to get roped into it.
Yeah, for sure. You'll have to let me know like what time you're doing it, so I can make sure that I'm on, because I always like getting involved in that. It's a good time.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, watch out for that, folks, and you know, go request the day off from work and all. You know, set aside some time, grab some Doritos, and watch some Ding Dang Captain Mack.
Hell yeah. So this isn't what I was gonna talk about originally, but this is kind of a little goofy. It's like a thing that I've just done. So I'm moved into this apartment. It's been 2 years now.
Has it really? Oh my God.
Yeah, that was 2 years ago.
I helped Mike move. I mean, I didn't move him into his current place. I helped him move out of his last place, but
yeah,
still.
Yeah, that's true. You helped with the move. Hey, Lily. Hey. Sorry. Well, this plays into this whole story. So I moved into this apartment, and you know, it was around this time of year. It was like the very, very beginning of November, I think, end of October, early November. And at Meijer around here, they sell these little trees. They're like live trees.
Oh God.
They're like little pine trees. They're called Norfolk pines. And Lily, leave it alone. God, this is just making it so much better. So I was like, you know, those look kind of nice. I wasn't sure how I wanted to have my apartment set up. And it was getting close to Christmas time. So I was like, you know, these are kind of nice. I'm gonna buy one of these little trees. So I bought it. But I bought it and found a spot for it before I like really did any decorating, like hanging up any like pictures or clocks or anything like that. So when I finally did get around to hanging pictures and things, which was, I don't know, maybe a month later or something, it took me a hot second, but I like placed everything at like a level on the wall to where it made sense with this tree being there and alive and existing. Because without it, like the picture above it kind of looks like it's too high. But then if I lower that, it brings it out of line with everything else along the wall. So I am not good at taking care of plants. And it died probably like, I don't know, February or March. Like it only lasted a couple months. But because it's like an evergreen type tree, plant, whatever you want to call it, because I don't know if it's actually a tree. It, even though it was dead, it still stayed green. So I was like, damn, I got to get a new plant at some point. I got to fill this space with something. Well, out of sight, out of mind, even though it's in sight all the time, but I just didn't think about it because it stayed green. So I waited until like this time last year, and I was like, oh, damn, it's still there. So they started selling them again. So I just bought a live one and replaced the dead one. Well, I did a better job of taking care of that one. That one made it until probably like mid-July this year. So yeah. So I'm getting better. But then that one died. And so I was like, fuck it. It's going to stay green. So I just left it. And today I bought this year's replacement, and Lily was like poking around, like sniffing it and potentially going to knock it over because it's all new and fresh and smells like a plant. So yeah, that was just kind of the goofy little thing that just happened.
Oh, that dog.
Yeah, she's a goof. But getting to the story I was originally going to tell. This was pretty early into us doing the podcast when I thought, we've got to talk about this guy at some point.
I do want to mention, I think you may have told that story about the tree on a very early episode.
I think I told the story about the tree dying, but I mean, now it literally just came back into play today because I got another one today.
Just for every year of the podcast, we'll just remember to bring it up at some point and be like, yep, that was still replacing that thing.
Yep, still replacing it. But speaking of our old coworker Steven, and him living next door, I feel like we got to talk about Pajama Guy.
I fucking forgot about him. Oh my God. I haven't thought about him in forever.
God, literally, it was probably like a month or 2 months into us starting the podcast. And I just made a note. I literally just wrote down Pajama Guy.
Holy shit. Yeah, we got to talk about that, dude. That dude was a trip.
And it's never really come up to where like it's been relevant. And I don't always want to just like throw something in there just for the hell of it. So yeah, let's talk about Pajama Guy because he lived next door just like Steven. There was this guy. He started coming in to shop, probably, God, this was a few years ago, but he would come in every single day.
Every day. It's sometimes twice.
Sometimes twice. On occasion, he would come in a third time. But he would be there like the second we opened up, which was like 10 a.m. And he would always come in wearing these like silk striped pajama pants and some sort of absurd t-shirt.
It was like a Star Wars shirt, but it was some kind of jokey Star Wars shirt.
Yeah.
I can't remember it now that I'm trying to think of it, but
yeah, at some point he also was wearing like just a dingy white stained t-shirt for a while.
I mean, it was all dingy because he wore it when he came to shop every single fucking day.
Yeah. So
literally the same outfit.
And to paint the entire picture, he kind of looks like the Zach Galifianakis character from The Hangover.
I can see that. Yeah, that's valid.
Like he had this like long, like kind of greasy hair and this like nasty beard.
I thought he was homeless the first few times I saw him. He looked like a homeless guy.
Yeah, I think actually we originally started calling him just homeless guy, but then at some point he became Pajama Guy once we knew that he wasn't homeless. But he would walk in every morning and he would get 2 6-packs of Dark Horse Crooked Tree IPA for him and his girlfriend. And then a lot of times he would come back again in the afternoon and grab 2 more 6-packs.
Yeah. And this was every day.
Yep. And sometimes he would even come back like right before close and grab like another 1 or 2. Which, like, if they're splitting that, he's drinking like 12 beers every day.
Yeah, like if they're splitting it, if they're not splitting it, it's still a lot.
Like, you know, whatever. It's one thing. Like, I guarantee you I've had days where I've consumed 12 beers in an entire day. But
every day?
Every day is not okay. And like the other weird thing too, so you know, in Michigan we've got a 10-cent bottle deposit. I don't know what they did with all of their bottles, because they didn't have, like, he wasn't bringing them back to us. I mean, maybe
I think he did like once.
Yeah, I think,
and it was like a lot.
Okay. I don't remember him bringing him back, but like, I just remember thinking, like, where is he putting all of these? Like, even if you have like a 2-bedroom apartment, that means your guest bedroom is literally just 100% full of bottles.
I 100% believe he had a can room or a bottle room.
Yeah. Well, the other thing that's weird, I don't know why he wouldn't just buy like an entire case, like 4 6-packs, because that's how much he would drink in a day. And we started like stocking extra just for him. But nope, he'd get 2 and then come back and get 2 more. God, that dude. I think his name was Logan, wasn't it?
That sounds right. Eventually we started talking to him. He was a really nice guy. He was really cool.
Super nice.
And I'm sure we learned, I think Logan sounds correct, but we would still always just refer to him as Pajama Boy.
Yeah. Yeah. For a while, he was like switching up his beers for a while. And then for a while,
we would run out every now and then, and he would choose, I forget what it's called. It's the one with like the skeleton fighter pilot on it.
Oh, Voodoo Ranger. I think that's the one.
Yeah, that's the one. If we were out, he would switch to that.
Yeah. But for a while he was drinking like red wine, and he'd get like, I don't know, like 4 bottles at a time or something ridiculous like that. Maybe it was just 2 at a time, and then he'd come back for his other 2. But during that phase of him coming in, like, that's when he had the white shirt. And I remember one day, or probably every day, because I don't think he ever washed it, it was just like covered in like wine stains.
So he's drinking more on top of the beers.
Right. And that was during the time that we were running I think it was like the golden llama or golden bell, or one of those contests where you know, you could win like a store coupon if you found an item that the employees hid in the store. And he found something, whatever it was that he needed to find. And remember, it's when we had like a cardboard cutout of a car, and they wanted us,
that contest was so dumb.
They wanted us to like take pictures of people, and then or have them like take their own pictures and like use whatever hashtag world market or whatever the promotion was. But I remember when he found one, we ended up taking a picture of him, and it's just him with like this goofy, like half drunken grin on his face in this like white wine stained t-shirt. And I think
behind the wheel of a car.
Yeah, right. God, I think we sent that off to our DM because I remember our DM wanted like pictures that we took from contest winners or whatever. But that was just so goofy. God, that guy.
I like the thing that really baffled me about that is for the longest time at least, and we'll get to that part later. But for the longest time, like he was unemployed.
Yeah. So I know,
like,
not trying to give away too much of his personal life, but I know he was living off of like an inheritance for a while.
Yeah, but it was still like, I mean, he was coming in for a good long while. And like the beers weren't cheap. Like it was world market beer. It wasn't like Miller Lite.
Yeah, they were, I don't know, I'll say like $10 a 6-pack, maybe 12. Like they weren't cheap. So he's spending, between like 40 and $50 a day on beer. That's a lot.
It's a ton.
And his girlfriend didn't work either.
No, they would just fucking sit at home and drink beer all day.
I know. I mean, it's a lifestyle, I guess, but like that you can't just do that forever, either for your health or for your finances.
Well, I think he knew that.
Yeah.
Because, eventually he did get a job.
He did. Sorry.
I completely forget like what his position was, but there was a restaurant right behind our store. It was connected to the same building that we were connected to, and it was like a really fancy place. A lot of our customers would like go there. And eventually he came in one day like wearing like a full 3-piece suit. He looked pretty good. He looked like he cleaned up a bit.
Yeah.
And he explained that he'd gotten a job at this restaurant. I think like, and it had something to do with drinking. It was something like he was their new like wine purchaser or something like that.
Of course it was. Go ahead.
Well, just like it, and he stopped coming in as often for a while because all of a sudden, he was working. He couldn't be sitting at home and drinking all the time. So
right.
We would still see him pretty often, but it wasn't every day. It was like every 2 or 3 days.
Yeah, and it wasn't first thing in the morning. It was like afternoon after he got off of his shift or whatever.
Yeah, and I mean he would always be wearing a suit, so clearly like it wasn't like a server position. He clearly had like a decent position there. I think he had a degree too. I feel like I talked to him about that. I think he was a college graduate.
Was that when he would like slick his hair back and put it in a ponytail?
Yeah.
That's not the job he had that I thought you were talking about. God, we know so much about this guy.
Yeah. Well, the job didn't last long, and I mean, we never found out why, but my assumption is that he just wasn't a very good worker because he's just he seemed like just a lazy drunkard. So,
Yeah, he really did. But also connected to in that same building that we've talked about that they called like the mall with, the cottage inn with the pepperoni that we were going to throw up in the skylight and the other restaurant that Logan worked at and World Market. There was a section of the building that was like offices, and he got a job. I can't remember what he was doing. I want to like selling insurance or something goofy like that. But he was doing that for like a hot minute, and that also did not last very long. And I think he said he thought it might have been like a pyramid scheme or something.
That's right. Yeah, he did say he got caught up in a pyramid scheme.
Yeah. I don't remember if it was insurance or like investments or something, but yeah, he got caught up into something like that. Oh God, Logan and the pyramid scheme.
Didn't like him and his girlfriend break up at some point?
They did.
Actually, I think they broke up a few times.
Probably. Yeah, they did. They definitely broke up at some point. And there was one night, I think I was just closing with Teresa and maybe somebody else, but he came in to buy a bottle of wine. And again, he was dressed up like really nice, but we hadn't seen him for quite a while. So he must have found like a third job somewhere that we never heard about. But he came in and it was pretty late at night, like, I don't know, 7, 8 o'clock, like kind of close to closing. And he was wearing a suit and he had cut his hair. And I don't know if he had gotten rid of the beard or just like trimmed it up really nice. And he had glasses. And I had to do like a quadruple take. And he's like, "Hey, how's it going?" And I was like, "What? Like who are you?" And
despite his like usual disheveled appearance, like he would clean up pretty nice.
Yeah, no, he really did. You're not wrong at all. He cleaned up really well, and he was getting like a pretty decent bottle of wine, like, you know, not like a $5 bottle like he would when he was like pounding 4 of them a day. And he was with this like pretty attractive female. And I like the whole time I'm like, God, that's got to be like his sister or something. Like, there's no way. Like, there is no way. I've known this guy for a long enough time. There's no way that's his girlfriend. And sure enough, like, I think like when they were checking out, they like, there was some sort of like physical cue that like let me on to the fact that they were together. I don't know if they were like holding hands or if he like put his arm around her or something, but I was like, holy shit, good for Logan.
Yeah, man, good for him.
Yeah. God.
Man, I wonder whatever happened to that dude. He just kind of slowly but surely stopped showing up.
Well, I mean, I'm sure since he like cleaned himself up, so he probably found like a steady job, and maybe he didn't live next door anymore.
Yeah, you're probably right.
So yeah, I don't know, but yeah, they were like, him and his girlfriend were like headed out to a nice dinner somewhere, and I don't know if he was getting a bottle of wine for after or what, but yeah, he really cleaned it up.
I wonder if I don't remember, like him and I would talk about video games all the time. And I remember like specifically around the time, now I think I know what year this was. It would have been somewhere in 2018 or 2019, probably mid 2018, because I was playing Monster Hunter World at the time. I remember that I was talking to him about Monster Hunter World a lot. And I think we had talked about playing together at some point. I don't remember if I ever added him on the PlayStation Network. I wonder if I still have him on there.
Yeah, that's actually how I found out his name. One day, because he had talked to Marco about video games a lot. And one day Marco was like, "Yeah, did you see that Logan came in today?" And I was like, "Who the fuck is Logan? Why are you like, you just assume that I know this person named Logan? Like, nobody works here named Logan." And he's like, "Logan, you know the guy that comes in and buys the beer all the time?" And I was like, "Oh, Pajama guy?" And he's like, yeah. So yeah, I think him and Marco actually like played video games together.
I mean, like, I can absolutely see them being friends.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, because Marco was a degenerate burnout too.
Yeah.
Oh
man, that's crazy. I haven't thought about that guy in forever.
Yeah. Yeah. Fucking Pajama guy.
Shout out to you, Logan. Hope you're doing well.
Yeah, hope you're doing well. I'm sure he probably listens to the podcast. I'm sure he caught on.
I would assume so.
Yeah. But you know, the funny thing is, I bet if we had been doing this when we worked there and told him about it, he probably would listen regularly.
I mean, what would he have better to do?
I mean, while he's just sitting there drinking beers. Oh my God, another thing about him drinking beers. So, you know, because we only sold like warm beer. And
yeah, we didn't have a cooler.
our boy Logan, he liked to, get his drink on first thing in the morning. So it was 10 o'clock and he was getting his beer. And he's like, yeah, I gotta go home and throw a couple in the freezer, cool them down fast. And I was like, well, if you wet a paper towel and wrap it around it and put it in the freezer, it cools it down super fast. Cool little trick, by the way. You can chill anything you want to drink in like 10, 15 minutes because like the freezer makes a little ice jacket out of that wet paper towel, and it's like the whole can is wrapped in ice. But he was like, oh yeah, he's like, that works really well. He's like, but I usually go home and like, have one or two while they're still warm. And I just remember thinking like, bro, you can't wait the 15 minutes for that to cool down. Like, like, come on. We're not talking like 2 hours here. Jesus.
No, that guy was a straight up alcoholic.
Yeah. Yeah. Man. He would wear
good guy though.
Flip-flops too. Just completing the whole Logan look. But yeah, super good dude. I miss him kind of.
Yeah, man, that's crazy. I can't believe I haven't thought about him in a while, but no, that good guy, that Logan.
Yeah. Oh man. Speaking of him finding like a golden llama and other customers that would regularly come in. Remember the fucking llama ladies?
I hated the llama ladies. If I'm not a violent person, but if I was, I would have bought guns to shoot them.
Yeah, I did not like them whatsoever. Max,
that was maybe not the most appropriate joke to make on a podcast when we started talking about a school shooting. That was a joke for anyone who is stupid. So
yeah, complete joke. Max not going to shoot anybody.
But no, I did fucking hate them.
Do you want to let everyone know kind of the story of them or a little bit about them?
Oh my God. They were just these like, the way that I'm like seething over them, you'd think they're like the Karen types who would come in and hassle us, and they weren't. They were just like the kind of people who just like the little things about them just make me so mad. I don't know why, but it was this group of three women. Yep. I believe they were all related. One of them may have just been a friend. I think they were all related.
I think it was two sisters and their mom, if I remember.
Yeah, that
correctly.
sounds about right.
Yeah,
that sounds about right. And yeah, you know what? Connecting them to Logan, I feel like every time I saw them, the mom was wearing the same exact jacket.
Probably. Yeah, and they would come in regularly for years, so it's not like, she shouldn't have had the same jacket on every single time we saw her.
No, she had plenty of chances to change clothes.
Yeah.
But, maybe that wasn't part of their household, because one of the things I hated about them is that they had horrible hygiene.
Horrible hygiene.
Like one of the sisters like consistently had a mustache, and that really bugged me.
Yeah.
And, they would come in and, the mom was in her walker, and they would just like slowly peruse the store for an elongated amount of time.
Yep.
And, we ran our golden llama promotion, and we talked about this before, but I'll go over it again. Every few months for a while, World Market, I think they're still doing it, had a promotion where they would have us hide little like golden llamas, golden seahorses, golden bells, whatever it may be, around the store. And if a customer found it, they would get a coupon. And there was one time, and this is a total tangent, but there was one time that during one of those promotions, one of the prizes would span from $5 to $100, and so people would get the $5 fine, and they just feel like they got completely screwed over. And it was it was such a pain to be like, yeah, well, you can't find another one. So, because you're only allowed to win once throughout the entire thing. And so eventually they started consistently doing like the lowest amount was $20, but that's just a tangent thing. But no, like during the golden llama thing, these women like loved llamas and like had a farm with llamas on it. So they just loved the golden llama shit.
Yep. Yeah, they would buy like every llama product we had. And I don't know if it's still a thing or not, but for a while llamas were like they were pretty popular.
They're popping off and World Market cashed in.
Yeah. Yep. They cashed in with those ladies. Damn.
We had llama pillows. We had llama floor mats. We had llama like doormats, everything.
Oh God. Remember how we had the timing of this was so bad, but during that golden llama contest.
Oh, fuck off. This was so dumb.
So to kind of explain to you guys, it was a little like cardboard, like teepee basically that had a picture of like a golden metallic llama just like printed on it. And that's what you needed to find. Well, we sold lamps there, and we sold this accent lamp where the base of the lamp was a llama and it was fucking painted gold. And people kept grabbing the lamp. And, there's like, we had more than one out at a time, like, because we're trying to sell them. So there'd be like 5 of them just sitting on a shelf, and they'd grab one and be like, oh, I found. Well, they wouldn't laugh because they thought it was.
They wouldn't laugh. They 100% were like, yeah, this is the golden llama. And I don't blame them. I think so too.
Yeah.
But it was so fucking annoying. Like, no, that's not it. That's just a lamp.
Yeah.
Be like, well, it's a golden llama, isn't it? Well, yes, but that's not like a golden llama.
It's a golden llama. It's not the golden llama.
Oh, it was so annoying. Eventually they told us to pull them off the shelves, but it was like 2 weeks before they did.
Yeah. I do remember one of the llama ladies, her name was Ginger, and she worked at that Wendy's right by World Market.
Yeah, that was the one with bad hygiene, so I don't think that Wendy's was great.
Oh, yeah, no, not at all. And another thing about them, so you had mentioned that they, like had a farm with llamas.
Yeah, I was making my way towards this.
So I wasn't there for it, but one time they actually loaded a llama. It's in like the back of a minivan, I think, and brought it to World Market. Not inside, but like for employees and customers to see.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, crazy people.
And they also don't actually, I know this for a fact. This is because I know this is coming from our boy Bradley. They don't actually live on a farm. Like, I think they live in like a residential neighborhood and probably have a llama penned in their backyard. Like some people have a dog.
I bet their neighbors hate them.
Oh, they have to. Because Bradley Bradley likes to go for walks, usually daily, through his neighborhood. Which, whatever, that's cool. But he's like, I think the llama ladies live near me. And I was like, oh, why do you say that? And he's like, well, there was like a minivan in a driveway and the license plate just said llama.
God, that sounds about right.
Yeah. Yeah, God. Fucking llama ladies.
God, they were just like, they weren't bad people. They didn't hassle us. They weren't problem customers. They were just so irritating.
This isn't them hassling us, but the one thing, it was just the one sister that would do it. But I swear every time they came in, the one sister would find some sort of like defective or broken product just sitting on the shelf, or like they'd find like whatever, a bag of cookies that was past the expiration date, and they would like point it out to us, which, whatever, that's fine. Like, I guess it's kind of nice that if a customer points out something that's broken so we can clean it up. But then the two of them would just sit there and like just laugh about it. Like it was like the funniest thing. Like it was like a game for them. And that always really bugged me.
They would also talk to us a lot. Like they would take up a lot of our time.
Yeah. Oh, God. The customers of World Market, Jesus.
Bunch of fucking morons.
There was that one lady that would always come in during contest time. She was super nice, but it was...
I actually really liked her.
I liked her a lot. She was a super nice lady. She would come in whenever we were running one of the contests where you had to find whatever it was that we were hiding at the time. But she would come in like every day. And you could only win once, so she would find them and then give them away to her friends and have them come in and redeem them, which is a tiny bit annoying, but she was a nice lady, so it was fine. But we usually ran these at Christmas time, and remember the one year she like brought us in like a whole tray of like homemade Christmas cookies.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was super nice.
She was really nice. And I'll mention too, like she overheard me like shit talking her. She would bring this up all the time because she thought it was hilarious. She overheard me at some point like talking to somebody else and like asking like, does this lady have a job? What does she do all day?
Oh, she was like a flight attendant, wasn't she?
I don't remember if she ever told me, but she thought that was super fun. I liked that that didn't bother her. I liked that she thought that was funny.
Yeah. Yeah, me too.
She took that like a champ.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, she was great. I really liked her.
Yeah.
Tom didn't like her for some reason.
Yeah.
I think because like she would go and find the game pieces and then we wouldn't have them for anybody else. And it was supposed to be like a thing to draw customers in. But yeah, Tom didn't like her.
Yeah. Well, whatever.
We don't like you, Tom, you Aussie fuck.
Yeah, you stupid kangaroo. Jesus. Oh, remember the fucking lady with the glasses? Like the blue glasses.
Oh my God, glasses lady.
So she was only
she was so fucking unbearable.
We started out calling her blue glasses because she had these like bright blue framed glasses.
They were like very distinctive too because like she had like real fucked eyes. So she had like really thick lenses, the kind like where in a cartoon where when the person puts them on, their pupils get real large. That was her in real life.
Yeah.
So her glasses were very distinctive.
Yeah, and then she started mixing up the frames at some point. So then she went from blue glasses to just glasses lady. But God, she would just ask the fucking most annoying questions that didn't make any difference. Like
she had like two questions. She had ones that like let's say three. She had really stupid questions. Like really, really dumb, really obvious questions. She once asked me if jalapeno chips were spicy.
Oh my God. Okay, yeah, that sounds on par.
She would have complete nonsense questions, and then she just had questions that were really annoying. Like, why would you even ask about this?
Yeah, I remember one time, I don't know, we had something in our little like artisan gift knickknack section of the store. I don't know, like it was some sort of like thing made out of like pottery, and she legit asked where the clay came from.
Yeah, it's like questions like that where it's like, why would I know the answer to that? Why do you want to know the answer to that? Right.
God, I did not like her one bit. I would actively.
You know who she loved?
Who?
Allison.
Really?
She would always like seek out Allison in particular. Like when she worked there, like if other people were working, she would ask for Allison.
Oh God.
And Allison fucking hated her too. So I don't know why she was asking for her.
Damn. Yeah. I feel bad for Allison. I would actively like try to like go and spend as much time in the office as possible when she was there.
No, we all did. Like, I feel like, this was a real like a one for all for one kind of moment for our store, because like anytime she would come in the store, we'd call each other on the phone and be like, FYI, glasses ladies in the store, go find somewhere to hide.
Oh God, I think even Tim hated her, and Tim loved everybody.
Yeah. Oh, Tim despised her. He would always make sure to come warn me when she came in.
Oh my God. We could have like an entire podcast just about like regular customers, I feel, because we've talked a majority of this episode about some goofy customers.
These are the real highlights though, but God, I hated that woman. Oh, and like the thing too is like she didn't need these questions she would ask answered, because if she didn't find, like if there wasn't somebody in her vicinity for her to ask questions of, she wouldn't ask the questions. Like she was just kind of looking for someone to talk to, I think. Because if you hid from her, like that worked. She wouldn't seek you out.
Yeah, the other annoying thing is she would buy stuff, but then she would end up returning.
She would return it immediately.
Yeah.
Or like a week later or something. She'd buy a fucking lamp and then bring it back. It was a running joke between me and Tim. Like we'd look at all the things in her basket and be like, all right, what's she's going to bring back?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, speaking of Tim, I ran into his partner, Lil Pup, today.
Oh yeah, that's good, Matt.
Yeah, Bubba.
I've only seen him like twice, but he's a really nice guy.
Yeah, he's super nice. Speaking of customers that really annoyed the fuck out of you, I thought of this one earlier, and as soon as I give a little bit of a description, you're gonna know exactly who I'm talking about. But I thought about this lady when we were talking about Logan returning his bottles.
I figured we'd circle back to this bitch at some point.
Yeah, because I feel like you were
I had a particular hatred for her, I know, but like I think it was well earned.
But you had to deal with her more than anybody else. Like I only know
for some fucking reason she would always like be there when I had to deal with her.
Yeah. Yeah, so this lady would she would, whatever, collect cans and bottles from wherever, and she would bring them back for the deposit at our store. And most of them.
So I'll preface this, like the theory was that she was going dumpster diving at or like garbage can diving at like Meijer or Kroger, places where they have bottle returns, and she would look for bottles that weren't returned at those stores because they couldn't be.
Right. Yep.
And then like what we think she did is she would go around to various stores and like try to find where they came from. So she would come in with carts and boxes full of bottles, hundreds of them, and the majority of them would not be returnable at our store.
Right. And so we'd have to, whoever got stuck dealing with her would have to go through and like hand sort all of these fucking bottles. And it was usually Mac.
It was usually me, or I would have to assist whichever cashier had to deal with it. I remember one time she came through with like 4 carts of stuff, I think, right? And so I looked at her coming in, and I immediately went outside and I grabbed one of the recycling bins and I brought it inside. And like I sat down next to the cashier, and as we started to ring through them, I broke out my notepad and I started making tallies of how many bottles that we were actually taking. And then I was immediately chucking them into the recycling bin.
Yeah.
And she got really mad about that. She was like, just leave them on the counter. Just leave them on the counter. And I was like, do you see how many bottles you have? I'm not going to be able to fit them all on this counter. I'm keeping a tally. You'll get your money. I'm putting them in the recycling bin right now. And she started talking down to me and like ordering me like as if she were my manager or something. And she was be like, let him handle it. You go away. And I just flat out refused. I was like, no, I'm staying here. I'm getting rid of these bottles now. If you don't like it, you can return your bottles somewhere else. I was not putting up with it at all.
Yeah, no, that's completely justified.
And like, she always, I don't know why, she always came in with latex gloves that were just disgusting and falling apart. They weren't like a fresh pair of latex gloves. They were like a pair that it was like was like ripped apart and slowly falling to pieces.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
And it was so gross. And like doing bottle returns is already disgusting because all the bottles are always sticky. But like it's even worse when the lady giving them to you does not even have a clean pair of latex gloves, and all of her bottles are like rejects that sat in a stinky trash can for a bit.
Yeah. Oh
God.
I fucking hated her.
I couldn't stand her.
Yeah.
Jake was she liked Jake. Jake was like a lot nicer with her and like put up with her shit a lot more. So she liked Jake a lot. And Jake gave me some shit for like how frustrated I would get with her, but like I couldn't help it. She just made me so angry.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Jeez. Are there any other customers that were regulars that stick out to you?
Yeah, I had this one regular for a little bit. She didn't come too super often, or and didn't not for very long either. But like to add a little positivity, I really liked her. She was super nice. I really don't remember her name or anything, but she was like a mom, and she like took care of other people's kids too. And so she would come in and like talk to me for a while, and she had like a lot of. So her and I were kind of on the same wavelength. She was a bit like hippie-ish, but like not too much that it's bullshit. Like she would talk a lot about like holistic healing stuff, but she would always make sure I knew that she didn't 100% rely on it, and like would go to a doctor if needed and stuff like that. And I just really liked her. And I just remember she was always really nice and was really excited to see me.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah, we had a few good ones. Like we'd mentioned in a pretty early episode that girl Steph that would come in. You and I would get super excited.
Steph.
Because she was super nice and also happened to be super cute on top of it.
Steph, where you at? Give me a phone call.
Yeah, hook it up. I think she was also like a doctor too. Like she was freaking great. And God, just so nice.
Yeah, she was super friendly.
Oh.
Since we have been talking about retail stuff, I forgot to mention on like 2 weeks ago podcast, but I took a little visit to Fred Meyer.
Oh, okay. What did you think?
I like it. It's a good store. It's not like Kroger.
Really?
No. So like Albertsons or Safeway I mentioned before is a lot like Kroger. It's kind of like a smaller grocery store, more focused on food than other things. Fred Meyer is much closer to a superstore like Walmart or Meijer.
Interesting. Huh.
But it's like it's nicer though. It's almost like I'd say it's on like a little bit lower in quality than like a Target, but with like the proper assortment of items that you would expect in a Meijer or Walmart.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a pretty nice store. It's a bit out of my way and it's a bit busy there for my liking, so I'm not going to shop there regularly, but I did like it. It's a good store.
Nice. Have you been buying your Vernors?
I haven't been drinking them super often, so I'm still just on the same six pack I bought originally.
Okay.
But something I did notice that was kind of odd. I was shopping at. I brought my groceries home. As I mentioned, I've been shopping at Albertsons because there's one really close to my house, and I brought the bags inside. They have paper bags, all paper bags.
Okay.
Which I don't love, but it's good for the environment, so whatever.
Yeah, they're harder to carry, that's all.
Well, there's that, and also I use plastic bags as like trash bags in my bathroom, and I use them for like scooping cat litter, so paper bags aren't really as good for that, but it is what it is. But I brought the bags inside, and I set them on the counter, and I was looking at the bag, and I noticed the Safeway logo on their bag.
Really?
Like the back of their bags have the Albertson and Safeway logos next to each other. They're owned by the same people.
Huh.
They're like the exact same store, like layout, selection, like style. Safeway and Albertson are basically the exact same store, and they're owned by the same parent company.
That's super, like, it's not weird that stores like that exist, but it's weird that they're both in the same town.
Yeah. And there's like so many, like you look at like the number of them that's in this the town too, because like I mentioned, there's two of each of them, and you think they're like in fierce competition, and maybe they were some time ago, but not anymore. Now it's a scam.
Huh? They're just trolling everybody.
Yeah, they should they gotta like consolidate. They gotta make it like safe Alberts or something.
Albert's way.
I like that. That's good.
Oh, man.
Man, I probably sound like a bit of an asshole with how frustrated I got with all these customers, huh?
No, well, I mean, you don't to me.
I think it's justified, but I probably did get a little over frustrated with some of the customers. But I self-admittedly hate people, so I feel like that's covered. People understand that I'm very good at customer service, but I hate customers.
Yeah.
Like, customers love me. Lots of customers like remember me. When I started working at my current company, a lot of people saw me on the floor and recognized me from World Market and were like sad to hear that I wasn't gonna be working there anymore. Like, customers loved me. I'm really good at customer service, but goddamn, do I hate them.
Yeah, there was one day. I don't think it was the same lady that returned all the bottles all the time. But someone brought in a bunch of bottles to return like right at close. Like 8:59 they came in the door with like a whole crap load of bottles. And they were at the register closest to where we had like the computer. So they weren't very far away. And our girl Chelsea was the cashier taking care of it. And Tom and I were standing there at the computer, and Tom just goes, "Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking serious right now?" And afterward, Chelsea came up to me and was like, "Yeah, she could definitely hear you because I could clearly hear you." And I thought that was fucking great.
I mean, Tom didn't have the best filter for like when customers were nearby. I remember like the second or third day after he started being our boss, like he jokingly said like Heil Hitler in an like 1 aisle away from a customer.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that dude.
To be clear, Tom was joking and is not actually a Nazi that we know of.
No, it was some joke he was making, but
yeah, but definitely within earshot of a customer.
Yeah. It was real interesting meeting him because like after having our old boss Carissa, we were expecting like our district manager to bring in some like no nonsense, super serious person, and like I want like the Heil Hitler thing happened pretty soon after we met him, and like the first day we met him, he started talking about how like we could do some like kind of shifty, not super like gray area, not okay things, and he would just take the brunt of it because he'd be like the new guy excuse. And like the first day we met him, we knew he was gonna be cool, and that was good because we were super like uneasy about him at first.
Yeah, Mac, do you remember? It was like, it might not have been the first day, but it was like not very soon after he started. You like looked at me and you were like, "Yeah, I don't think he's anything at all what they thought they were hiring."
Yeah. Because like knowing our district manager, I don't think our district manager would have hired him if he knew what Tom was like when Jeff wasn't there.
Right. Yeah.
I think Tom put on a really good interview and had like a really good poker face, but he was like just as shitty as the rest of us, but like a little bit more professional.
Yeah, slightly more.
He fit in just fine, but he was good at like dancing to the corporate people's tune when he needed to.
Yeah. He definitely knew how to like play it up when he needed to. There was one other lady that comes to mind. She would come in and she would get like really angry. I think you probably would know who I'm talking about if you saw her, but she would ask like really absurd questions. And there was something she was always looking for, and it's been so long I can't remember what the product was, but she would always look for it, and then she'd like complain to Tom that we didn't have it. And she would like tell weird stories about like, oh yeah, I know all the best bakeries around Detroit. I mean, I don't eat any of that myself. She's like, I just give it away to everybody. And one day she like bought something and took it up to the register, and Rue was the cashier. And, you know, sometimes Rue would like, he would have kind of like smart ass like responses to customers at times.
He really would. And most of the time it was fine because they'd take it as such, like just kind of a smart ass response.
Yeah. And he had such like a weird, like monotone delivery that you almost like, if you weren't paying attention or you didn't know him, you could potentially not even catch that he was being a smart ass. Like,
Right. I think that's why he got away with it so much.
Yeah. And he was like ringing this lady up, and I don't remember what she was buying or what he said to her, but she ended up saying something like, boy, I should smack you with a ruler right now. And it was really freaking funny. And then like got super mad and like talked to Tom about him. And I mean, Tom was totally cool with it because this lady was a huge pain in the ass, but God, yeah, just her telling Rue that she should smack him with a ruler. Oh fuck. Yeah.
Now we got to go through these stories. Those are some good ones.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, I'm sure if I really took the time and we like had planned this out, I mean, there probably would have been so many more, but yeah.
I'm glad we didn't though, because there's a lot of those people that I hadn't thought about in a while.
Right. Yeah. So God, fucking pajama guy. Fuck. Love that dude.
Shout out to Logan, to the bottles lady. I hope you are dead.
Yep.
Or will be soon.
Yeah. Ugh.
And to all of our podcast listeners, I wish the same to you.